Hi everyone, today we're going to do a lovely Lebanese dish called Jawan Mohamara, which means golden chicken wings. But of course the first job I have to do, and you have to do this when you're at home as well, you have to wash your hands before you start cooking. So 20 seconds, both sides, in between, the backs of your hands, around your wrists, and then rinse your hands. And do not use a tea towel, okay? Use some paper towels. Right, this is quite a quick dish. The recipe that I've left for you online is only for 2, so no doubt you'll want to make it for more than 2. I'll come over here and we'll show you what we're going to do. Now I'm going to just prep up the veggies on the same board because I'm going to cut the chicken wings on this board, and if I was to do the chicken first then I couldn't do the onion on the same board, could I? And then otherwise I could use a separate board, but then that's more washing up. So I am just going to put my butter, yum butter, in the pan and heat that, and I'm going to cut my onion. Seems like quite a lot of onion for that amount, but maybe it's going to be fine. Should be getting pretty good at this by now. Oh yeah, I like to do each one first. The core is at the back there. Clean your knife off very carefully. That goes into slices. Now, there's a couple of garlic cloves. If you've got a garlic crusher, you can use that. If you're like me, you don't want to be bothered washing it, you can do this. Smash them. Then come through this way. Bring them around like that. Come through this way again. And if you come up close, you can see that that's pretty well chopped. There is something else I want to show you. Keep the camera rolling, because what you can do is you can get some salt. I'll just get some from out the bottom here because you need a fair amount of salt for this. Get a bit of salt. And that absorbs the juices that are coming out. And then you go like this. Then you get it really nice and so that's ready to go in. Now I've got some water boiling here. I'm going to show you another way to do rice. I have been showing you the absorption method, but this method is using a lot of water and we strain it off, okay? So you want to put some salt in with boiling water. A fair amount of boiling water, and what you can do is here's my strainer. Well, if you haven't got your strainer, you can just put it in there and rinse it later. So in that goes, rain it in, wait for it to come up to the boil again. So it doesn't all stick together. Now when that starts to boil, I have to be careful. I'm going to take the lid off when it starts to boil. Okay, we've got our butter here. I'll turn that down a bit now that it's come up to temperature. And we're going to put our garlic and our onion in there. So let that cook away while we prepare our chicken wings. Now, you like to give your chicken a bit of a wash before you start to cook it. So bung it in your colander like that. Just get a bit of cold water, run it on the chicken. And then we're just gonna pat them dry. So I've turned the rice down now, just boiling a little bit. A bit more than that probably. And that's gonna cook for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just drying off our chicken wings. And now we're going to section them. Now they're not as hard to cut as you would think, because there is a joint. There is a joint here and there's a joint here. The trick is just to go in between the joint, come down, and then we don't want to keep that. Then this one, cut around like that, break it, then you can see where the joint is, and then you can just finish it off like that. So this one here, we'll do this again, feel where it is and cut it off. This one here you need to actually cut around from the inside, bend it, and you've got it off like that. Okay, so our chicken wings are ready to be cooked. I've turned the heat up over here on the frying pan. Oh, my rice has gone off the boil. That's not good. So that I can put the chicken wings in. And so now I'm going to add the chicken wings. And we're going to brown those off a little bit first before we put them in the oven. We are going to put some lemon juice in with our chicken wings. So I'm just going to use my citrus squeezer, lemon squeezer. If you don't have one of these, I'll just show you what you can do instead. Okay, take the seeds out, put your fork in here and then squeeze, and it will go down the fork instead of up into your eyes. And there we have it. Got a couple of seeds in there. We want to get rid of those because they are rather bitter. Okay, so we're going to turn our chicken wings over now that they've got a little bit of colour on that side. Yep. So we're now going to season our chicken wings. Some salt and some pepper. And we're going to put our lemon juice on them, turn the heat off, put some lemon juice on them, and they're going to go into the oven. The recipe says 30 minutes. Let's check them after, say, 20 minutes. Okay, the recipe calls for coriander, but we didn't have any coriander at the supermarket, so we're just going to use a bit of parsley. Just going to do a bit of a rock cut. Notice I changed the board because I couldn't use the chicken board, could I? Oh no, no, no. A lot of salmonella lives inside chicken. Okay. Yep. Okay, I forgot to put the parsley on the chicken wings before they went in the oven. They're supposed to be like that. And we'll just mix those through a little bit. And delissimo. We'll go and let that cook a bit. Leave the camera on because we're going to, I'm just going to point out that I put my rice on too soon because the chicken's going to take 20 to 30 minutes and the rice takes 20 minutes, so my rice is ready, which is bad. So I'm going to show you how to finish the rice, but when you do this at home, put your rice on just before the chickens go in the oven, and then that should be about right. Now, we didn't wash the rice before we cooked it, so we have to wash the rice now. Because look how starchy it is, see that? Just run a bit of hot water through it. A bit of hot water through that. And let that strain off. You can do that in a colander as well, but I had to turn that off. I'm just wasting water on one of the driest continents on the planet. And just let that drain off, like that, just for a little while. And then we can just pop a lid on it, pop it on the stove, and it'll stay hot. So we're going to dish up our chicken wings now. I do notice, so if this was for a developing country, they would cook a lot more rice than they would chicken wings, because they couldn't afford to buy the chicken wings. But I think for us, there's actually enough rice here for more than 2 people. So just notice that when you're doing your shopping and when you're doing your measuring. So I'm going to put about 1/4 of the rice on there. On each plate. And we're going to adjust the temperature on the recipe for the chicken wings, because we think that it's actually going to be enough to have it at 180, because these have just started to catch a little bit, okay? So we think 180 will be enough for the chicken wings. Plus, I don't think they're really going to need half an hour, okay? They're probably going to need 20 to 25 minutes, but just watch out. Chicken wings are quite deceptive. They do take quite a long time to cook. And there we have it. Golden chicken wings.